y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and around here I talk a lot about health and wellness. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing kind of like a pre-story to my story of coming off of the pill. This is probably going to be a multi-part little series, but for now we're just going to talk about things that I have experienced on the pill, what I'm hoping to no longer experience in coming off of the pill, things I'm going to be doing to prep myself, things I'm going to be doing to help keep my health and wellness just kind of in check throughout this process. I'm not here to tell you to come off of the pill, but I will tell you that, there are so many health concerns and issues that arise when you are using hormonal birth control. So that's just something to consider. Do your own research, but if you want to follow along with my story and you learn a little something along the way, I will be absolutely thrilled because I have learned so much. I have two resources that I intend to use. One is the Fertility Awareness Method book, basically. I mean, it's basically the Bible for it. It's called Taking Charge of Your Fertility. And then I've also been listening to the Fertility Friday podcast for months now, and I am absolutely obsessed, and I have gone back and listened to hundreds of old episodes and then of course stayed on top of the most recent episodes. I highly recommend that for anyone who's looking to be even slightly educated on what their natural cycles are supposed to be like and just general health and wellness when it comes to being a woman. So I'm sure some of you are slightly aware of the fact that I've been looking to do this for a while. I've been talking about it for months in some groups. I've been talking to my family members about it for months, just kind of like trying to mentally prepare myself. Honestly, I feel like the more you talk about something, the more comfortable you can get with the subject, which can go in a good direction or a bad direction, depending on what it is. Current health problems that I've really been experiencing on the pill. I'll start with things that are more recent. So I've never had acne. I didn't have it really before the pill. I mean, other than like, hey, I hit puberty acne, but that went away. Acne was never a super big problem for me, except for I'd say maybe the past 2 years, I have just had this massive issue come up. And it's been really, I don't want to say that it's been hard because it's just acne. But at the same time, it does make you feel really self-conscious, especially when it's not something that you're used to having. So for me, it's really, really killed my self-confidence, and honestly, getting on here to talk to you guys, as crazy as that sounds. So I have kind of hidden behind my camera on the other side because you guys know I'm a photographer. I've just continued to take pictures of other people, and I've refused to take pictures of myself. I don't even really take selfies with my husband when we go out. I don't take pictures when we're out adventuring and doing things, and it's been kind of like, it's been slightly refreshing, but also sad because I look back and I wish that I had photographed these various moments, and I didn't because I was so self-conscious. The whole reason that I started the pill was because of painful periods and just being tired of dealing with it. And my doctor said, hey, it'll make your periods less painful. And I was like, okay, let's try it. And in all honesty, it did help for a while. But that's because it wasn't a real period anymore, for one. So that's something that you have to know, is that what you're having when you're on the pill is actually a withdrawal bleed. It's not a period. You're so doped up on all of these hormones. Estrogen is the one that I was on. So it was basically an estrogen pill that I would take every day for 3 weeks. And then I would have a week off where I was having my withdrawal bleed. It would take a couple days for my body to realize that I wasn't taking the estrogen. And then bam, a couple days in of not taking my daily pill, I would start my withdrawal bleed, or what I, for the longest time, thought was a period. I thought it was still a period. Turns out I was wrong, because when you're not ovulating, you don't have a period. So it's just kind of crazy. Anyway, I I literally, I think about it and I want to go and yell at doctors. Okay, because there's so many doctors that are like just not really informing people on this particular issue. Like it's a real problem, and there should be more education that goes into going on to birth control. Like there should be more education in terms of going on to birth control and then coming off of it. There's so many like issues that people don't realize that they had when they were on it, and then they come off and then they're like, whoa, and then they learn all these new things about themselves, and there just needs to be more education. I'll leave it at there. Anyway, I've also started to experience over the past 2 years, and mind you, I've been on the pill since I was like 17 and I'm 23 now. So maybe I was even 16. I've been on it for a while. So I really don't entirely remember exactly how my cycles were before, but I do know for certain that I did not have migraines or acne. I did not have migraines like this, that's for sure. I basically would have a migraine like almost every day. I have finally found a few ways to work through them using oils and CBD and upping my magnesium and all sorts of different things that have helped. But I still get them. I still get these migraines, and it's still a pain in the butt. So nobody wants to have migraines, and it is a very common side effect of the birth control pill to have really bad migraines. So one of the really big issues that I have struggled with the most being on birth control, I struggled a little bit when I was a kid with depression and anxiety. I can honestly 100% tell you, I can look back at some of my tendencies as a child and I can tell you that that was something that I struggled with. However, I was a very happy, very young, like fun, vibrant child, and even into puberty, I was still really happy. And I still had so much confidence and so much joy, and I was very passionate and excited about a lot of things. But then once I started the pill, obviously high school is difficult anyway, but I started the pill, and about 6 months in, I went downhill very quickly. And within 6 months, I was put on antidepressants and put on mood stabilizers because it was just that bad. After that, I just didn't feel like that was right for me. I didn't feel really that much better. I kind of went off the deep end, and maybe one day I will share my testimony with you guys on that, but that is obviously a whole other video and super duper intense, and I really don't want to have to get there right now. So I did end up coming off of the pill, or off of those pills that were like just not really working for me. And that's when I started to go the natural route, which I, of course, will share my oily story with you one day. That's what really got me started, was my issues with depression and anxiety and trying to treat it naturally, take care of myself naturally, instead of turning to medications because it wasn't the right fit for me. Sometimes it works great for other people, and that's fantastic. And I'm so thrilled that you or someone you know has not had the same struggles that I have, but that was a huge problem for me. The side effects that I was experiencing on those medications. And well, now I've been on it for so long that I really feel like the intensity of my depression and anxiety has like gone beyond anything that I can handle. So I'm hoping to God, I'm praying, y'all, I'm putting all my faith in Him, that all of this sadness and this heaviness and this anxiety is going to start seeing some relief in making this decision and in moving forward with coming off of the pill. So, cross my fingers, getting down on my hands and knees and praying all the time because I need that relief. I feel like, obviously this testimony will be able to share God's incredible goodness and everything that I've experienced. I will be able to move forward and help other people. But I think it's time for a change for me. So that's what's happening. Like I mentioned, there've been a few things obviously that I've done to help with this process and with my health in general. Obviously, supplements are fantastic, even ones for hormones. I was taking a couple for hormones, and then obviously all kinds of things underneath the sun, because health and wellness is my favorite. Clearly, look around my channel, it's everywhere. Anyway, I also obviously used essential oils. I switched to organic tampons, and I will say that even while on the pill, when I was experiencing cramps, I noticed a difference in switching to the organic tampons. When I switched to organic tampons, my periods seemed to get lighter, which, you know, my periods, my withdrawal bleeds, they seem to get lighter, and there was less pain. So highly encourage anyone to switch to organic lady gear, tampons, pads, whatever it is that you use. Attempt to switch to something organic. Even make sure that when you're using those cups that they don't have any BPAs in them or things like that that could potentially cause you issues in the long run. So there's things that you definitely need to pay attention to when you're looking into stuff like that. So something else I forgot to mention was low libido, as far as like side effects and things that I've experienced. A lot of women don't necessarily notice that they're experiencing low libido on birth control until after they come off. Granted, I really pay super close attention to myself and my body and where I'm at on, you know, various scales. I think that's a little bit of my OCD. But I've definitely noticed that there are, I'm not where I should be for my age. I absolutely know that I should have more desire for intimacy. I really should be, you know, more excited, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like an almost never thing. Like, I just have to make the decision, and like I said, I'm being super vulnerable. I have to just make the decision, like, okay, we're gonna go and we're gonna be intimate tonight. And that's really hard as a wife. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still get excited and I love him, and like there's still this sense of passion and intensity for me, but it's also very, very hard to know that it's not normal, to know that what you're feeling is not quite where it should be, and that there could be more, and it could be better, and you know, there could be more passion and there could be more joy in the intimate side of your relationship. So when you know that it's on the other side of this hill and you just have to get over it, it's like, anyway. But it's like that with everything else too, with the depression and anxiety and the acne. And it's like, man, when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you just want to run faster. Like, you're like, okay, if there's potential for my life to get better, what am I doing? Why am I just sitting here and waiting? Like, I need to make it happen. So that's what's happening. That's not to say that I don't have any fears or reservations on this, because I think that comes with anything. But for me in particular, not being fully aware and having been on the pill for so long, I feel like it is a little bit more scary for me, because I just don't know myself. I don't know my body anymore. I don't know what my cycles are like anymore. I don't know, you know, even what my personality would have been had I not been on the pill for so long. And, you know, some people may be like, oh, you know, yeah, you'll never know. And I'm like, I know, but it's scary. So a few of my biggest fears and anxieties with this obviously are, number one, babies. I really would like to kind of go through a process of like health and healing before I even think about getting pregnant, just safety-wise, health of the baby-wise. There's a lot of things that I would want to take into consideration before actually deciding to conceive. So when switching to the fertility awareness method in preventing pregnancy, there's a lot of other stuff you have to be mindful of, and man, I do not want to mess up, okay? Like, I don't want to mess up. Granted, I know it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have a child. I recognize that they're a blessing. Obviously, I'm a Christian, and I have, like, you know, my own perspective on babies and kids, and but I guess I just feel like maybe I'm not mentally there yet. And like I said, you know, with the depression and anxiety, that I think is what's contributing to it, is I'm afraid that I will continue to be depressed and anxious, and I don't want that to affect the joy that I have over having a child. And there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack. So, next. I am a little bit afraid that the acne is gonna get worse, which I have actually heard that it does get quite a bit worse, especially within the first like month or two afterwards. I've heard that it does get worse, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And as long as you can hold out and you can stay off the pill and keep going and keep taking care of yourself, it does get better. So I'm preparing myself. It's gonna get worse, but then it's gonna get better and I'm gonna be really excited. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm also afraid that my periods are gonna get worse than what they were before I went on the pill. I don't know why this is a fear that I have, because usually, you know, with the right like health and wellness routine, it gets better anyway. But I'm still nervous. So I'm hoping that I can figure out what my happy medium is, what I need to do in order to make sure that my periods are not super painful. PCOS and endometriosis are issues in my side of the family. For my mom, my sister, my grandma, they all have struggled with it. And so I am definitely really, really nervous. So yeah, there's a lot to think about and to consider there. I'm also really afraid that like maybe my depression and anxiety will get worse, which I'm sure there is the potential for that in general. You know, maybe it'll get worse and then it'll get better, which I could probably handle, but I guess right now I'm afraid that if it does get worse, I might not make it through it. And I know that when I come on camera, I have this really great presence, and I know that when I talk to people and I'm in front of people, at my core, I'm an extrovert and I love to talk to people, and I've always wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be a singer when I was a kid, and I wanted to, you know, be an actress. And so I know that this is easy, and you know, the person that I show you in front of the camera does not necessarily define exactly who I am. And we have seen that across the internet all over the place, you know, in relation to highlight reels and all those things. So y'all know that what you see online is not necessarily the truth. I really do struggle on a regular basis. Sometimes I spiral out of control and I can't breathe. I feel like, you know, everything is closing in around me. And it's usually when I start thinking about certain things like aging and then dying. Those are kind of two of my bigger triggers. I have experienced depression in a way over the past year that I have never experienced it before. I don't want to listen to music. Music is very triggering for me. So basically all I do is listen to instrumental, like jazz with no words, and sometimes even Christian worship music can be really hard for me to listen to. And that has been devastating for my heart as a Christian and as someone who loves to sing and just worship in general. It's been very, very hard for me. So there's a little peek into my mental health. So I guess that kind of brings me to like my fear of just being a different person. I like who I am, and there are obviously things that I would love to change, but for the most part, I do like the person that I am. And there have been instances where some women come off of the pill and they aren't even attracted to their spouse, or they don't want to be friends with certain people anymore. And that's scary. Granted, it's not super common, but it does happen. And that's a little unsettling. It's a little unnerving, but it also shows you how much your hormones and the birth control affect your hormones, and then the way that your brain functions in general. Because if it can have that much of an impact on you as a person, I can't even, that's insane. Okay, so putting into perspective, why birth control is probably not a good thing. I have various plans and things that I intend to implement into my routine and, just figuring this whole journey out. Obviously, the tools that I'm utilizing are Taking Charge of Your Fertility. This book is fantastic. You can buy it on Amazon. It's like 20 bucks. It's been amazing. I have actually read the whole thing. I've got a few pages marked in here that I'm like, I might need to come back to that kind of thing. And then obviously the Fertility Friday podcast that I mentioned at the beginning, super freaking awesome. Lisa is absolutely amazing. She has so much knowledge and she brings on some of the best guest speakers to help educate you. I am blown away and it has been such a good resource for me. I have taken so many notes on this podcast. It's literally insane. Obviously, I intend to continue using my supplements. There will even be new ones that I probably end up adding in. Maybe even a little bit of a change in routine. Like I noticed that magnesium makes me super sleepy. Why I wasn't aware of that, I don't know. So I've switched to taking any of my supplements that contain magnesium at night. So that's just something new that I've already done. I'll be implementing new oils. One oil that I haven't been able to utilize is clary sage because it's kind of got like some hormone mimicking like oily things in it. So I'll be utilizing that a lot and I'm really excited for that. I will be looking into cycle syncing, which I've already really done a lot of, just in terms of like, oh, this is the right time for me to plan this exercise routine. And this is the right time for me to plan to conquer this project for my business, or this is the best time to go on vacation. This is the best time to add in some extra naps, things like that. Because women are on average women are usually on a 28-day cycle. Okay. And that's like our internal clock. That's how our internal clock works. And there's different points during your cycle that are optimum for certain activities. So like yoga versus a HIIT workout. I'll also be implementing seed cycling. So if you don't necessarily know what that is, maybe I can make another video on that for you guys to kind of give a little bit of an explanation, or I can link maybe a couple graphics down below for you to look at. But basically, there's a couple seeds that basically promote the production of estrogen. And then there are a couple seeds that you can eat that promote progesterone. So both of those are fantastic and very important for their own designated portions of the cycle. And I already bought one of the seeds, and one of them is sunflower seeds. The next is like pumpkin seeds and flax seeds and sesame seeds. Don't ask me what order they're in right this second. I can answer down in the comments below, but I just off the top of my head, I don't know right now. The other thing that I really would like to attempt to do is just general detoxing, making sure that I've gotten all the excess estrogen out. I know that some people believe that it all comes out within the first couple weeks, and then some people believe that it can take a long time. I feel like just general detoxing would be good, especially in the hopes or in the event that I did get pregnant. I would want to make sure that my body is at its prime and at its optimum health and efficiency. So, things like that. It is getting dark outside. So now you guys can see my light over there. Anywho, so for the most part, that's pretty much it. I obviously have no testimony yet to share with you guys about my experience coming off of the pill. That's going to come in another video in probably a month. I'll probably do a 1-month update, 3-month update, and 6 months. And then maybe a full year after. We'll see. I'm not making any promises on that though, because clearly I have messed up. It's been a long time since I've been on here to talk to you guys. I'm really excited to continue to share my journey with you though. This is a huge step for me. This is a big step of faith. This is even gonna be a big step for my marriage. Just us learning how to make it through this change and this update in our lifestyle. It's a lot. It is a lot of pressure. I mean, I have to wake up every day, which I've already been practicing. I have to wake up every day and take my temperature to be able to chart when I am fertile or not. And then there's obviously some other ways that you can track your fertility as well. Tracking your fertility is not just about trying to get pregnant. It can be utilized to prevent. And I feel like that is so important to note for literally every woman out there. And y'all, I wish that they taught this to like girls in high school, okay? Because if we were aware of the fact that we can be so aware of our bodies, it's just incredible. Like, it really is. And I wish that more women could have known about this before they got involved with whatever kind of birth control they're on. Even just the idea of being aware is so much better than what is afforded to most people. And I think that's absolutely devastating. So I am hoping and praying that maybe this message will get out to lots of women all over the place. I'm so excited for this change. I can't wait to share more with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I am so freaking excited. There's so many awesome changes coming and things that are gonna happen, and I can't wait to share it with you. Much love, guys. Bye. Okay, so I'm popping back in here really quick to tell you guys, I am so sorry about the audio. This is actually the second time that I've recorded this video. Super, super annoyed about it, but I don't want to re-record it, so I really do apologize that you have to deal with lens focusing and